Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss, and we got Chris Walker.
I'm the guest. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? What's up, Jeff? What's up, Alex?
What's
Still
up,
on
bro?
that man gang.
Let's go. Let's go.
I know that's weird for me.
What's up, Will?
What's up, Will?
So, man, we got Chris on. He wasn't. See, we only let him be off for a week, and we had to bring him back on.
That's true, man.
You retired for a week. All right, that's it. Retire for the podcast for a week. That's all we're allowing. As you guys can see, that's right. As you guys can see, as always, we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour, and man, August 26th is going to be huge, and I think it's really cool with what's going on. Battle of the Dojos, and man, I'm hearing a lot of things that this is something that, yes, it's huge. It's going to be awesome in New York, but I'm hearing maybe this is going to be something going other places too. So really get excited. This is going to be the first of many with the Battle of the Dojos. So I'm excited to see what happens.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Wait, I got a nickname. What's my nickname, Will? What's my name? He said, what do I like? Yeah. I was like,
I don't know. What was the nick? Did you give him one?
I know. That's what I'm looking at.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hard nose.
Hard nose.
I don't play. Definitely don't play when I'm in the ring.
That's right. I love it. But yeah, man. So Battle of the Dojos would be great. I've been talking to Jesse, and he's just trying to do things that are new, different, and fun, and get people out there. So it's going to be awesome, man. A great way to get young competitors, underbelts, juniors, to step up and kind of get that first kind of feel for like excitement, you know what I mean? And
that little taste, that first taste in your mouth, that ooh, I think I want to do this, and I get to do this with my dojo, with my brothers and sisters from my school. Yeah, this is an awesome thing that Jesse's doing. I'm super excited for it as well.
And it's going to get them to want to compete and become competitors for long term, So what do you think, Alex?
And the other thing is that I think there's going to be some teammates on those schools' teams that realistically are not going to be ready for that spotlight, because to think everybody on your team is going to be ready for that spotlight and you have one at every single age, that is extremely uncommon, right? To have good skilled fighters at each age. Yeah. If you're a great school, you could have that.
Right.
You might be good and skilled, but maybe not ready for that spotlight. And then, just like you guys are mentioning, like once they get out there and they're like, oh crap, this is what it's like, right? They get the oh crap moment, and then they got to make a decision, right? What are they going to do? Are they going to like revert back into their shell, or are they going to be like, all right, I got waxed, I got to do this thing again, right? And we're going to find out.
That can't happen again, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, listen, I remember, and it's out there. It's out there on YouTube. You can find it. My first real rookie tournament. Now I have been doing national tournaments for a couple of years, but I do like the bluegrass. Right? I always do the diamonds. Maybe I do AKA, but it was the first time where I'm like, you know what? I'm 18 now. I'm doing it. And I won my lightweight division, but Raymond wasn't there. Right. And he was, and I didn't really, I fought him once and I knew, I was like, oh, I don't have an answer for this. Right. And then, so I thought I fully planned that he was going to be there and he wasn't. And I was like, all right, well, at the time, I'm like, that's the way I looked at it. It's like, I looked out. All right. And so I win the lightweight division and they don't do an overall. It's the New England Open. And I fight Manny Reyes Jr. and he waxed me. Right. And he beat the brakes off of me. And I remember at that moment, like it looked, oh yeah. I scored no points. It was 10-0, right? And it could have looked like that was really embarrassing. Like, man, just go in your room and just play video games and just wait till everybody's gone and then you can go home. But I didn't, man. I stuck around and I'm like, hey, I'm not leaving this. I'm going to be here at events like this forever. And it was. And maybe that's going to be like that for somebody else.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I just watched that video the other day. So
did you really?
Yeah. Remember I asked you about
listen. Manny has been on fire posting.
Yes, Manny's been posting all kinds of stuff.
You know what? Yeah, hand claps to Manny for that. So if you guys have
yes, that's why I said it, man. Me and Manny go way back. So I love what he's doing. I love that he's putting things out. Man, it's awesome. I don't know
where he's finding the videos.
He's traveling around.
Who has all these videos?
Different sources, different people. You got to listen. There's somebody there's a few people who are like encyclopedias who have stuff. AP's got stuff out the wazoo. I know Mr. Plowden's got stuff. Johnny's got stuff from both of them. My instructor's got a bunch of stuff, like Calvin, Thomas, and the people that I know have a lot of stuff. Mr. Young's got a lot of stuff. And we just got to try to get these old VHS tapes and convert them over to DVDs and start actually, moving through and trying to get. I know AP's been doing that a lot as well, because for a while there, for like a 3-month stretch, he put all kinds of stuff. He put up old like Bermuda stuff that was just taped,
Well, you mentioned to convert it to DVD. What are you going to do once you have it to DVD?
You make it digital, or you just convert it over into digital. Let me stop dating myself. You convert it into digital. Henry.
They have ways for people to do that now, straight from VHS now to digital now. So
yeah. You just send it into a company that they do that too.
All right.
Speaking of footage, we're watching Chris right now, and man, we're excited to have you on, not just to talk about what's going on in the world, but talk about and talk about your journey in sport karate. You and I go way back as competing in juniors at let's see, Battle of Atlanta and
US Open.
Yep.
You talked about Robert Hill Mason's Gold Coast. When you brought that up, 94. I remember competing against you then.
Yes,
it was like my first time. My instructor that year was the first time my instructor let me compete up as a black belt, because I wasn't a black belt then. He just let me wear the belt, and I had to give it back before I left the tournament. Kind of deal, but I remember competing against you at 94 Gold Coast. Gold Coast, Robert Hill Masons, Broward Community College.
That was my second tournament of my first NASCA season as a black belt. So
because that used to be a NASCA tournament.
It was like a AA back then. That was like one of the few AAs. Was that one?
I don't remember you doing a lot of the Pan Ams. Did you come down for a lot of the Miamis?
I never went to Pan Am, dude. Honestly, last year was my first Pan Ams.
See, that's what I thought. I was like, man, I never remember you being down there. I was down there a lot for many years.
Yeah. I always went to Fort Lauderdale, but never Miami. It was crazy.
Right.
2022 was Jeff's first Pan Am. That's crazy to think.
When you started? What, 94 was NASCA? Your first NASCA?
As a black belt, yeah.
Oh, as a black belt, because I rember you did before then. We were underbelts.
My first
93. You were. Did you go 93 in the Georgia Dome?
Yeah. My first Battle of Atlanta was 1990. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Georgia Tech still, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
See, this could go on all night, people.
This is crazy.
We remember when. Well, I don't know if you were there when the U.S. Open was at the Ocean Center, or when it was at the Convention Center. I don't remember which year you went.
Convention Center. Yeah, I went 93 and 94. Were my first two. Yeah. So it was the Convention Center, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Kids should be with a notepad and pen, just jotting down
underbelts. And at the Convention Center, underbelts used to be on the carpet, and the black belts were over on the concrete rings.
Yep.
Oh man, we used to. At every other tournament, underbelts got concrete, and the black belts got the carpet. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Oh, good old times. The painter's tape on the floor.
It's always funny because a lot of the underbelt rings at tournaments back then were in these little small rooms of the carpet. You know what I mean? Diamonds was, Bluegrass was not in the main room. They had this little small.
It was off in the other,
across the hallway.
Denver used to do that.
Mile High,
a lot of those, man. Mile High.
Empire did too.
Yeah, it was like, here, let's put these over here, get them out of the way. But a lot of those tournaments too back then had their own tournament.
Well, kind of how they do it now. They had their own regional underbelt tournaments for that region, and then the black belt had the national tournament. It was kind of the same, but slightly separate. Some of the tournaments now are doing that. I mean, I know US Open does it all in its own room, but they got their curtains and different color mats over here for the underbelts, and then they got the NASCA side over here. Battle did the same thing with the 2 or 3 small rooms off to the sides, and then up in the main atrium was the black belt section.
And then they had the PMA stuff going on, the Premier Martial Arts stuff going on. So yeah, I mean,
it's easier to do it that way. I mean, I'm not sure about, having regional rules for underbelt and then transferring over to the national rules. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do like you have them running separate but close enough in proximity that the underbelts can walk over and see, the black belts can walk over and coach.
Well,
what's your take on it? You just mentioned a number of different ways where it's separated. What's your take on how it's separated and where it should be? Like the ways that it's been separated, and what would you do?
Well, we're working on that actually. With this league that's moving in that I'm stepping into a role with a lot of really good people. What I would do is I would still have regionals. I'd still have regions. I don't know if we would go back to region 1, 2, 3, and 1 to 10 regions, or the Southeast region, the Northwest. Do the different types of regions, but everybody goes under the same rules, under the same umbrella, and you work yourself up to that high level consistently. So you don't have to go here and learn this, go here and learn that, then when you get a black belt, then you got to learn completely different set of rules. I just think that kind of puts us at a detriment in that respect. However, I grew up with my instructor with, you're a fighter first, and then you adapt to whatever rules you have. That's how good of a fighter you're supposed to be. So I get both sides of it, but if we want everything to go and grow into the same thing, it's got to be a little bit more consistent than what we see different regions. So we're up here in the Georgia region with the ASKL, and when we go down to either Blitz, or if you go to a ProMac tournament, or you go to any other kind of event, you got to know the rules beforehand, and a lot of underbelts aren't going to do that. Right. Because they don't know, and because it's one of those unknown unknowns. Yep. And I just think we got to kind of unify a little bit more from the ground up, and that kind of progresses us. That's kind of how that's how Europe grew so fast and so quick. Everything is the same, from white belt, all the way up through. Every rule is the same. The rounds might be different lengths, but other than that, the rules, consistency all the way through. Exactly. So you never have to try to adjust to different things. At the beginning of the year, if there's a rule change, then they announce it and put it out there all the way through, and everybody knows it, and then it's explained to every referee's meeting before the event. So, and then this organization kicks out bad referees. Like they watch you, and if they think you're a bad judge, you get booted down to the lower level, and you can't judge at that level anymore.
Right.
So that is good, but that wasn't really what I was asking. What I was asking is literally, how would you physically separate them? Like, because you mentioned like US Open does the different colored mats. Some of the other rooms, like they put you in a different room. What would you do?
I would probably do more of what the US Open was, what they do, because of the spacing. I would keep them in the same room, just kind of have them, this is your section, this is their section, and that way everybody's free to travel back and forth. But again, not every hotel has it like that. I mean, you look at like Ocean State. Ocean State, everybody is everywhere unless you're in that one little main room, just due to its size. But I mean, in an ideal world, it would be big enough to where I could do both events together, everything consistent, and that's how that would work.
Well, let's be honest, Chris. If it wasn't for events that had it all in there, you and I probably wouldn't be here still, right?
No, I wouldn't I wouldn't have gotten to watch the Legends.
Exactly. Like the Battle of Atlanta, that's what was so great. We were all in the same space, looking around like, holy crap, watching this, roaming around like, oh, look at this. They had a stage during the daytime where people were up, that was a huge thing. The battle, even when it was in the Omni, it was still pretty, they had a lot going on, So, I mean, there's different things, that are very ideal and beneficial to that,
100%.
And I think that's why the battle now is trying to have that middle area with black belt stuff, because that way that's going to be the main area. It's accessible for people to see. Yep. You have to be able to, you have that hub right there.
But it's so hot.
I know it's so hot.
And then competitors trying to throw their weapons up and seeing that light and that sun. I love it. I like what they're doing, but if we could
Yeah.
like tint that a little bit or put like curtains up a little bit.
Yeah, let's put some curtains. Yeah, it was crazy because literally the sun like moved and it went from in the middle of our division, of our grand division, it went from being bright to dark in the middle. Like, whoa, that was nuts. But yeah.
I was watching kids try to like see up and throw their weapons and spot their weapon and stuff like.
All right, so this is what happens. This is what happens. We try to talk about Chris Walker and we get him on other things. No, and we're going to blame it on Chris, all right? Chris doesn't like to talk about himself. So, all right, Chris, how did it start, man? You are from Florida, correct? I mean, you don't live in Florida now. You live in Georgia now.
No, I live in Georgia now.
Yes.
I'm from
Florida. And explain just how you started martial arts, man.
Gosh, I obviously like watched Karate Kid, did all that, wanted to be Daniel-san. My forever instructor came to my daycare and ran a 6-week little karate class, little trial like thing, and I was immediately hooked. I mean, 100% immediately hooked on that. Learning chamber punch, kick, and all that. So I went to the school for a little while after that, and then my mom moved me from where we were in Merritt Island, Melbourne, Cocoa Beach area, out to Orlando, which was 45 minutes, an hour away. And so I lost my instructor, and then I went and joined an ATA school.
Oh, all right.
Really?
Yeah, I did it for like 6 weeks, and then we moved back. And then so when I transitioned, I couldn't find him again because I didn't know what the karate school's name was, because I remember that he came to my elementary school or preschool. So then in my apartment complex where I was living, this big dude came out and he had a championship belt on. So I thought it was a wrestling belt. I was like, hey, do you wrestle?
That's like, so cool.
And he's like, no, I do kickboxing.
Okay.
So then I became, I kind of like buddied up next to this dude. His name is Ernest Simmons. He actually fought Ernesto Hoost back in the 80s. Once in America with American rules and won, once in Amsterdam under K1 Thai rules and did not win. Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, we had a lot of our art. Like, okay, so for my area, it's where Don Wilson's from, Cocoa Beach, Florida. Don the Dragon Wilson, actual fighter. And we go through that lineage. Ernest Simmons, Dave DeQualo, like my instructor, Mike Smith, Mike Green. That's our little pocket. But when I went with him one night, I saw my instructor. He was actually working the corner for Mark High-Stepper Gurley, when he was doing a lot of kickboxing fights. And I went, Mom, that's him. That's my teacher. And she goes, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to go talk to him. She's like, yeah, whatever. We're in a bar where there's kickboxing fights. I go over there, Mr. Smith. Talk. I bring my mom over, introduce. The very next week, I was in classes.
Nice.
And I've been with my instructor. I've been with my instructor ever since. Every belt, every rank, everything is just still when I go back in Florida and I go see him, I'll have to do class. Probably Monday, but I'll have to go do class. Well, I'll get to go do class. Let me rephrase that. I get to go do class. Yes. I get to go be 100% student.
So Chris, let's just talk about like you said, that's your instructor, and you said forever instructor. Yes. Explain. I think it's just always cool. I've always appreciated this, your bond with Mr. Smith, you know what I mean? And the way you guys are, the such an instructor he is to you. Share that, what he's meant to you and how he kind of set you up.
Dad.
Like encourage you. Yeah, that's what I was going
to say. That's dad. That's since I was obviously when I was 3. I started at 3 with him. Lost and then came back about
3 years old.
3 years old, I started karate. My mom, there's somewhere up on the Facebook, the pictures of me in like high shorts and a little tank top doing class in just a room, at the daycare, Miss Ann's daycare. Like, yeah. So I started at 3 with him. And there were a lot of things that went on through my life that honestly, if I didn't do karate, I don't know where I would be. I don't know how my life would have gone. So I am forever grateful for that man. For my mom's a single mom, so like he instilled a lot of things in me. How to hold myself, how to conduct myself, what to do. Obviously, my mom did a lot of that as well, but I had him as my influence. So for me was I can never thank him enough for that.
Right. Dude, I love it.
So yeah, I'll be down August 12th. They're hosting an event for like a free tournament or donation tournament for breast cancer and stuff like that. So I'll be down there for him, and like, no, we do everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's around, and he's probably going to be at the U.S. Open, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, he'll be at the U.S. Open, yeah. And he's the one that, I mean, honestly, he was on East Coast All Stars, which was Metro with everybody. He fought in the Cuban national team against Budweiser. Like, I mean, my instructor's been around for a long time and fought, everybody. When the U.S. Open would come, I'll never forget, 90, maybe 99, maybe 2000, when Elite came down. They came down like the weekend before, and the whole team spent like most of their training, like they came to our school and trained with us. Right. We had Nasty come down, AP, Tony, like everybody would come to our school. So I felt like, even though we were in a small school in Florida, I still got the legends, the who's who of everybody that I got to train with at my own karate school. Right. So I also for that, and I don't know if I went to a different karate school when I have had the love and being able to do the things that I do now, because it was his love for competing that pushed me to want to do it. And then, when we were kids, if you won grands, you won like a bike or a Sega or whatever. I was like, bro, the poor kid wants to win all that. I'm being all his. So,
Dude, I didn't get that was kind of the way it was for me. It was like, hey, if you want it, you got to go win it. It was like, I didn't get, my parents didn't buy me an N64. I had to win it. It was like,
100%.
Yeah, it was just the way it was, man.
Sometimes you'd win 2 in a year and take that back to Walmart and get the money back. Like,
that's right.
You only need so many bicycles, bro. Different tournaments gave out different things. At least in Florida, when we won grants, sometimes you'd win savings bonds because they couldn't give you cash. Now they give kids cash. I was like, huh? But back when we did it, and we were Fame.
Yeah, you guys
our circuit, Fame. Florida affiliation of martial arts events. Yeah, baby.
It was,
and those events were huge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Always huge. I mean, as always, let's go ahead into that sport karate scene down there, because, I mean, you said your instructor, not
we have
only
greats in Florida.
But he has respect. You know what I mean? And like you said,
right,
he brought in other people from outside to train and to work.
Even in the local area, even in our Florida, we have Mike Green, who's his instructor, Calvin Thomas, Don Rafi. Then we would go down to like the Miami area, Manny Jr., Manny Senior, Alexander the Grape. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we had a lot of people, and then we had the great James Sisko. Like, I love that man. He's been putting Sisko up. He was the first Waco United States world champion.
That's crazy, right?
Golden fist. He had one of the best back fists I've ever seen in my life until I saw Terry, Mr. Kramer. And, and then, there's downs, but like, I mean, we got people in Florida. And then FBBA was a circuit down in Florida too.
What was that called?
Florida Black Belt Association. That was like in the Miami area down there, Miami Lauderdale, Boynton Beach area. Up more Central Florida, Tampa, Jacksonville-ish.
And they brought it back recently, right?
Fame. They did bring it back a few years ago, because Fame went away. Then they came back with Fame 2K or Premier, then Fame 2K, and then now it's Blitzed, and then USA Sport Karate, because Kick USA was a thing. Like,
it's so much.
There was a lot.
I heard that FBBA came back. That's what I heard when I was down there this year.
They have the ISKL in Florida and USA Sport Karate that I know of right now that are the two main things.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don,
absolutely, Don.
Right.
Absolutely. That's why that's why I do my tradition of Sunday sparrings at my school, was because everybody came. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody came. Like the people that beat me up from Preston Clemens, Meadow Mays, like Alex Lane, Don. I don't remember Sammy's name, but the Sammy that was with y'all with Justin. Central Florida was a big deal. For me at least. Jeremy Roque and his school, Internal Power back then, before they switched, and did all that. I can talk all day about Florida
It's
karate.
a crazy scene, right? I mean, that's why we have one of the biggest tournaments there is that's based down there, so it makes sense. Go ahead, Alex.
It's a huge scene in karate.
Yep.
Okay, well, you've had a number of like stints in your martial arts career that's continuing to grow still, right? So you've had like really kind of your early stages, which is what we're talking about now. Mm-hmm. But then you're like the Swiss Army knife of martial arts, right? Because I don't even want to say sport karate because it goes well beyond.
That's funny. I like that, Alex. I'm not going to tell you to shut up. I like that one, Alex.
It goes well beyond martial arts, right? Or just sport karate, right? So, but then I heard when this was years ago when I heard that this was the case. You were in high school, weren't you a cheerleader?
Absolutely. Younger than that.
What do you mean younger?
Because I was 6th, 7th grade maybe when I started, because I started an all-star cheerleader.
Stop.
Oh, okay.
Swear to God, all-star competition cheerleading. Because what I wanted to do, I didn't want to do gymnastics. I didn't want to do the vault. I didn't want to do high bar. I liked pommel horse. I liked the rings, and I liked tumbling. I only wanted to flip, and I only wanted to flip because I wanted to flip and do flips in my karate.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the lady who was the gymnastics instructor, Nancy, she said, well, we do a tumbling only class. So you can come tumble. It's just a bunch of cheerleaders. Just come and learn how to tumble. Perfect.
And that's right up your alley.
And then they started like, well, you pick up the girls over your head, you do the dances, and you do flips. I'll give it a try. And then so that's how that kind of explored and blossomed into that. And then I coached it for years. The tumbling portion, I didn't really do all of the make it up the stuff as much. I just taught the tumbling portions of it. But yeah, that's a real thing. I did backup dancing for local singers and artists, and I did a bunch of weird stuff, man. Like,
wait, how did you end up in the dancing? And then what kind of dancing would you say, like, all right, that was my thing?
Whatever backup dancing you needed. Like, I would be like a backup dancer. My friend Dre, his cousin, was in a group. And so we would go do backup dancing for them at their shows, and they would get gigs and book like bigger shows, and then like, oh, you do dancing, and we'll do things like that. I got to dance at the TI Redemption Tour in Miami.
Wow.
One of my friends, I choreographed fitness competitions, the IBBF fitness competitions. I choreographed a routine for this lady. And then after that, she was like, hey, my friend needs backup dancers. Could you get some people together and do this? It's at a TI concert. I was like, done. And then I did her part. After that, Lloyd, the singer Lloyd, was like, I didn't know anybody had dancers. If a couple of my tracks, you want to come out and do some breakdancing moves.
All right.
So I went out there, did some tricks and did some, flares and windmills and stuff. And then came back and got to watch Nas perform with Jeezy and then T.I. and stay on stage and watch it all. So, I mean, like, I've gotten to do a bunch of cool stuff. So what you said, Swiss Army knife, if you're paying or it's a great experience and I can do it, I'll do it.
There we go.
At the time, I don't do that now. It's not the same now, but back then, under 25, yeah.
That's right.
Well,
I'm blowing your mind, huh, Alex? You had no idea.
No. I mean, I did know, because I remember you said that you were a cheerleader and that you would do competitions, and I'm like, all right, well, that's interesting. I didn't know that you were a backup dancer.
Yeah, so I try to do everything.
Well,
he's done backup dancing, MMA, kickboxing, name it.
Jiu-jitsu.
So here's the first
karate,
thing I'm going to tell you.
My
first Chris Walker experience. Okay, this is my first Chris Walker experience. So
I'm curious.
I'm at the battle. Okay. And it's 2000. And now I don't know where Jeff went, but it's okay. All right.
We'll find him.
So
this is when I fought with Jesse and Joe.
I'm like in it. Now I've started to win a few events fighting. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy in forms, right? All right. I'm placing, but I'm not that great. So, but Butch Marks still had that level of cool where it was like, everybody was just kind of around wherever Butch was, right? And that was I think that was Butch's final year as a junior, right? So
99 or 2000.
2000, right?
Okay.
So Butch was he just had this level of cool. People just kind of like gravitated toward wherever he was. So I remember Butch was like, hey, y'all gotta see this stuff, man, right here. And it was like in the ballroom. It was in the ballroom, and it was you. And you're there, and he's like, yo, man, do that spin again. And you did a standing full twisting tuck. And I'm like, wait.
Standing full. Yeah.
what? A standing full twisting tuck, and then bang, sticks it and lands. And this was in the days where if guys would start out their form and they would do a standing tuck and they would land.
Chop punch, spin, double punch, step back, back tuck, land, and block. Yes, I Mortal Kombat.
Even if they were just to do a standing tuck and then like step back and low block, like, all right, that was pretty cool. My brain didn't know how to comprehend a standing full twisting tuck
and a real one, and a real one,
and then
a real one
stuck. And I'm like, I don't. What are the rest of us doing? Right. So that was my first Chris Walker experience. I had no idea.
Wow. I had no idea you even saw. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. You keep
what was it? 2000, 2001.
Just
2000.
Standing around.
2000,
that was in 2000. So, and I'm like, oh my God. So I had no idea about the fighting. I had no idea about the rest of the forms. I had no clue. Right.
Yeah.
Years.
I still get more compliments off my, my butterfly stretch to back handsprings to full or flash or whatever.
No, I have seen you do that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that's still. I haven't seen too many. I don't think I've seen anybody do that well, at least in a while. I see Steve do it on a
like a trick video.
Show. Yeah. No, a dance show. He did it from seated position. He popped up and did a tuck out of it.
That's crazy.
Steve is still ahead of his time.
Steve's dope.
Yeah.
Steve,
I'll never forget tying with Steve and at the US Open. Me and him tied and we lost to Kalman. We tied for second, so we had to do our form again. I tried we both agreed that we were going to go big. I went round off flash kick full, so I did kick full and I missed my feet and I fell backwards and I did a kip up, and then he did a double barrel roll and then fell on his side. I think I was 99, maybe 90, 98, 99. That was my last year as a junior.
90.
Because I moved up to adult because I didn't want to wear chest protectors. So I moved up to adult at
probably 2000.
Right before I turned 16.
It would have been, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't remember Steve there at 99, but yeah, that probably makes
It might have been 2000. It might have been 2000. Y'all got better memory of years and what years they were for me. Because I remember the tournament, who I competed against and all that. I can remember the scores. I don't know what year it was.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Okay. Well, the next real solid memory I have of you was it's the New England Open. You're not on the team and you're out and your mom is there. If your mom is around, we know, all right?
Yeah. It gets loud.
Right.
Yeah. It gets loud.
I have a mother like this, all right?
Yeah.
So I understand, all right? So, and I remember kind of overhearing, I don't know if she was talking to you or if she was just talking, right? And she said, we're going to give it a shot. We'll see if he gets on a team. We're just going to give it, we're just going to go for it. And it was a New England Open. And at the end of that, you were already on straight up. All right.
I remember. I'll never forget the question I asked Joe.
Go ahead. Tell me how. That's where I wanted to
know. I beat Wayne Mahoney. I won super lightweight division, and then I won lightweight grands. And I can't remember if I lost to Mallory when it was super light and light fought 30, or if I lost to the middleweight winner in the next round. I don't remember which one it was. I remember not winning. I won lightweight grands, but I remember not moving past that into the final three because that's when it was still final three. Gosh, What is this? 03.
That was 04.
Maybe.
04. It was 04.
Yeah, it was 04.
Okay. And then
you also
I asked Joe, and I won forms. I won traditional forms. And I walked over to Joe and I was like, "Hey, you got my uniform?"
Wait, timeout.
I just went into the year. I went into the year. Me, Alex Lane, Jeremy, and Joe Fife wore black rec suits, and we would try to tape a white question mark on the back. It would always fall off, but that was the goal, to tape a white question mark on an all black rec suit to see who's going to get us, or if we could get picked up. So I'm not super shy, and I've known Joe for many, many years. So I walked up to him, I was like, "Hey man, so when are you gonna have my uniform?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, man. When are you gonna give me a uniform? You go up there tonight. I'll give you Joey's uniform, and you say representing the best karate team in the world, team straight up. You'll be on my team."
And
so I said it. Went up there and I said it.
Right.
No big deal.
Funny. because I remember that presentation. Like, why is he saying the best karate team in the world?
That's what he told me to say. If I was getting sponsored, I'll say it. Fair enough. Plus, I love Joe. Like, that's still the big homie. I love Joe Greenhall.
Oh man, I love it.
So tell me about that stint, because you were there for a long time, and you still like.
I was there. I was only there till I can't remember if it was 06. 06 Charlie Lee's was the last tournament I fought with them. Straight up. Then I switched over to All Stars. Yeah.
Okay. I think that makes sense.
Great times.
It just felt like it was so long.
Well, because that whole season and that team and Straight Up at that time had gotten so big and everybody was on the team. That was right when they had picked up Raymond and Jason and Jody and the whole stint and everything. I was there when the Jack rule was in effect because he fought with us at the U.S. Open. Goodness, yeah, and then that was a great time.
On the team too.
Yep.
That's right.
We had a squad. Joey, Robbie, Mark and Sammy. Like, yeah.
It was definitely cool, man. It was a good it was definitely cool to see you get an opportunity as well, because I remember, like growing up, you were the guy that be at a couple of the tournaments and everything, do well, but not necessarily get that sponsorship.
Travel. And then I was at Battle and US Open and I always did really well.
Right.
But that was it.
Yeah. And so it was really cool to see that in 04. And what's funny is that for me, it was kind of like my stint was ending for a little bit. The CJB was ending that year, and you kind of kept going on, and I kind of went a different way and then came back. But
yes, you did.
But it was kind of cool to see. And we battled as we were, both of us, trying to beat John Su. That's just kind of what we were doing that year, right? And we did well sometimes not. But you had a lot of cool opportunities. You even went to Korea that year, right?
No, I didn't get to go to Korea that year. No.
Okay, you didn't.
I went. We did the 05, I think that was when we did the WCL, the World Combat League, their initial show. With that demo team. I still want that demo. I still want to see that demo. John Su, Chloe, Steve Horst, me and Marcel did a section together. Torado was like, oh my goodness, that was one of the best demos ever assembled. I've never seen it. I don't know who has it. We did a really, really good demo. Ryan Wells, on my stint with Straight Up, Ryan, I did team forms with Ryan. That was fun. But we had to go against freaking pro rank. So and then Spritko and Welsh. So
we're dropping so many names. It's crazy right now. It's crazy.
So many.
I don't know. I just remember we were at Battle that year. We were at Battle that year, and you were like, "Am I going to compete? I don't know. I have to leave in a little bit to get on a plane." I forgot where you were going. That was 2004. And I thought, and some of the people were going to Korea right after that. And I thought
they were.
Yeah.
I was doing something. No, I remember.
You were doing something. I don't know what it was, but that year you also went up to Trevor's tournament that year too, instead of DC.
We skipped DC.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go, because I knew John was going. So I wanted to go beat John and try to go do an NBL. That was a great tournament.
Yeah.
That was a great tournament. And we both lost to Pete Daypuck.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like that's how it works.
It's crazy, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great event there. Was that 04?
04, because I did that one and I did WSKF. I did AKAs that year.
Yeah.
That was in 04 when it was WSKF. Yeah.
All right, so tell us the transition from Straight Up to All Stars, how that happened, and what's funny, that's pretty much been, what are we on? 20 years now. Well, almost 20 years.
Technically, I think technically the first event was Athens in 05, as technically with the All Stars, and then after Charlie's, then we did Ireland, because I did my first Ireland was 06 Ireland with them.
So how'd that happen?
That was a big
that transition
year.
There was kind of a split there between originally, from what I heard, it was supposed to be we were going to do internationals as the USA All Stars, and we might had pick up one or two other people's if we did internationals or whatever, and then in the States we were going to be Straight Up. So that's kind of how what my understanding was from my very limited. I just been on the team not very long. I'm not in there with all the meetings. I didn't know anything.
Sounds like it makes sense.
Right. And then for whatever happened, either wasn't the case or didn't happen, and there was the split. I told Tim Wells and Joe that because there were some things that reasons why some sponsorship things for people, and not just me, just different things and going on and all that. So I was like, well, I'll do Charlie Lee's because I'm a man of my word. We're going to do Charlie Lee's, and then we'll see how it goes. I ended up team fighting with Derek Grace, Rufo, and Chacho, Jorge Perez's son from Guatemala, and me. And then we fight Harry Carter, Mallory, and Vince D'Ocampo Jr. first round, 0-4-1. And I'm down 6, and I beat Vince by like 7, or we're down 5, and I beat him by 6. I beat him by 1 so we can move on. We fight Robbie, Jason, and Raymond next. I'm down 10.
And you got
Raymond looks at me and goes, so what are we going to do? I was like, bounce. And if you watch that fight, it's like a 2-minute bounce. And that's like maybe 1 point, 2 points. He got 2 and I got 1, 2-1. And that was about the end of that, and bowed out and fought. And that was, I went the next day, I think won either light middleweight or lightweight. I won one of the divisions. I don't even remember if I won grands that day. And then that was my last tournament. And then I transitioned over to the All-Stars and did events with them after that. And have been with them since. Since
then, yeah. So, and that original group was you,
Jack, Robbie, Jason, Jotty, me, and Regina.
And Raymond, of course, yeah.
And Raymond, yeah. And Hugh.
And Hugh, yes.
And Hugh.
Yeah, and that was the originals right there.
Awesome. And so the idea of All Stars was not just to be a NASCAR.
We wanted to go internationally. We wanted to go back. They went to the Irish Open and they saw what it was like, and they wanted to go back over there and do more of that. And then we went to Athens Challenge. We wanted to do that. Then Best Fighter, and then Paris World Cup, like all the WACO events and the WACO World Cup events. So we wanted to go over there and do that. And that turned into absolutely amazing experience. That's one of the things that I'm very fond of in my life, those experiences with those gentlemen.
Well, what happened, Chris, I feel like is what you guys did. You actually changed the sport over there, because not only did you go over there, you actually did seminars at most of the events. Every event we went to. They saw a different level. They may have seen some of those guys at WACO Worlds, but again, let's be honest, we didn't all get to go over there.
Not really, unless the couple of years JPM really sent an A squad and did the WACO Pro fights and stuff like that. Yeah, we didn't always send our very, very best to WACO Worlds. Pedro would go, and other guys would go.
Reggie and Jotty.
Well, 95 was a good year. Ski went, Mr. Smith went. Like that was a good year. Like there were some years, but in general, on a consistent basis, we were definitely. Everybody wanted to beat Raymond. Everybody wanted to be Jason. Then everybody wanted to be them. Then they would. And there was a point where I believe they were paying us to come over, and then we did seminars just so they could fight us and try to beat us.
Right.
Can I jump in? Okay, so I want to mention this. So what we're really talking about is, from the timeline, we're talking about the 2006 Irish Open, right?
That was my first Irish Open with them. They went, I think, in 04 and 05, because I remember they won it one year with Jerry Fontenez.
Right.
Yeah, and I think in 2002 my first was the first win by
Victory, right?
I think it was Victory by a USA team. But I think that that Irish Open, the 2006 Irish Open, what Jeff said was right when he said, like, you basically changed them and made them better. I equate that 2006 Irish Open to the 1992 Dream Team. Right. And I want to explain why. So if you look at basketball worldwide before 1992, it was not that great, right? No. I don't want to say something like it was garbage, but it was not as great really as it is now. Look at my mom. Mom, we were you got to mention in the show earlier, Mom. All right. So and it was good, Mom. All right. But anyway, but then let's talk about the 1992 Dream Team. All right. From that point on, when you get Clyde Drexler, Chris Mullins, and Patrick Ewing, and Charles Barkley, and then, oh, by the way, Michael Jordan, playing together, all of them. And then the guys like David Robinson are as an afterthought. Like, what? Right?
Yeah.
Right.
It totally changed the dynamic of basketball worldwide. But let's look at that 2006 Irish Open. It wasn't just you guys. When JPM heard you guys were going,
so coach,
they put together a team and they went. All right.
Yep.
There was a lot of other guys going. I think coach had a team there. Right. I don't know if he did.
A couple years later, not 06.
No,
I don't think they had one in 06. But Full Circle came.
Coach has got a team everywhere. Right. But I really firmly believe that was the tipping point, that Irish Open. So from then on, like you said, they were paying you guys just to go.
I remember fighting Mike Page at that event.
You fought him?
Yeah, I fought him. I lost by 2 to get to the final 4. He beat me in the final, and to get to the final 4 with Raymond, Jason, him, and I don't even remember who it was.
Man, oh,
that's awesome.
But yeah. No, I fought him twice at the Irish Open.
We got to find
next time. Next time, Dave, definitely, I think I should have won that one. But that,
wow.
We always think we should win close fights.
Well,
so.
Right.
Right.
No, I don't always think. There's plenty of times where I'm like, no, I got beat. Right.
Oh no. I know when I lose. I lost that one.
Yeah. All right. Here's a great example. And I know I'm sidebarring, but all right, Chris, you and I fought each other a couple times. The first time we fought, no, I should have lost. All right. The second time we fought, you beat me then too. No, I still think I should have won. All right.
Which one was that?
That was at the Diamonds for the super fights.
Oh, the super fight of the Diamonds? I knew you were going to say that.
I wanted that one so bad, but I didn't win, and I understand, and it's all good. All right.
And then I got into a freaking slugfest with Tank after that. Holy moly.
Yeah,
that was. And then I thought I was winning that fight. I didn't think we had to get to that last point, and then he actually kicked me in my face.
Right.
And I lost.
Tank. It's Tank.
He had kicked me in the face. You're going to get hit with at least one. I got, I think, two in that fight.
Yeah. What you gonna do? And that's the thing. It's like it's Tank. What are you gonna do? All right. So enough sidebar in that. So your
06,
your international experience.
That was also when they did invitation only forms.
Yes.
It was only invites. So it was a performance. They didn't have divisions over there because I believe there were like 8 of us. Brian Beck's son, Casey Beck, I think was his name.
Yeah.
Sage was in it. Chloe, Jason, me, a couple people, and then it came down just the 3 of us, and it was me, Chloe, and Jason. And that was and Chloe beat us. And
Chloe won. Yeah.
Chloe won.
Well, and you got to remember too, for us looking at it, we actually thought that European people were getting better at forms at that time, right before that, because what was big? The French Open was big. From 01
French Open,
05,
absolutely.
Right? So that was very big. And then all of a sudden, nope, fighting's where it's going to go. And it was kind of crazy, right? How that worked. Yeah. And in some ways, they're almost like 2 separate entities going on,
French
right?
Open
well, Jeff, I kind of think that might have been a perception.
My leg.
Sorry. Oh yeah.
What? I think, and Billy Bylang was huge for that. That's why I think it was a perception. I think fighting has always been the focus. But and the French Open really made it seem like, no, we're actually really passionate about forms when really there's a few people that are.
Yeah.
At the time.
Right.
Now there's quite a few.
Right. And again, you had still at that time too, it was 2 big European leagues. WKA, people forget how big it actually was.
WKA was the real deal too back then.
Yes, and it had more than just the musical, and Waco was just musical and soft style at the time. Still. And now it's flipped out. No more soft style anymore. But that was the thing, right? So we're going full fledged. And again, let's say you just said one of your biggest experiences there. Give us 2 experiences from competing in Europe that stand out to you.
Any Irish Open, to be honest with you. My first time in Belgium was actually really, really, really cool experience. I ended up fighting in divisions. I ended up having to fight Jack, my teammate. But for open weight, I got to fight Harold Schmidt.
Talk about that. I want to hear about this.
Bro, Smiley is no joke.
Okay,
Smiley,
good.
I call him Smiley because I think we all do, because that dude smiles no matter what
The
happens.
Joker.
I fought him twice that weekend. I fought him in because you could fight 2 weight divisions. So I fought 1 weight division, and I fought upper weight division, and I fought him in open weight. The first time in open weight was super close. He beat me by 1, but he caught me with a jump spin back kick that hurt. And so the very next exchange, I got in on him and I hit him with a quick 2-piece, and I hit him hard with a overhand right. I was like, bah, bah, boom. And he looked at me and goes, "Good punch, Chris." And gave me a high five. And I looked at this dude like, put my hands up because he's finna kick at me. But that dude.
Where would you?
I think fighting, because I fought a lot of great kickers.
Yeah.
I put Harold as one of the best kickers I've seen, because he wasted nothing. There was no extra kicks. It was a kick with intent. He was either kicking your hand to move it and then following with his hands. He was kicking with your hand to move forward. He knew exactly how far his leg could reach, how far he needed to pull to increase that space. Harold is one of the best kickers I've ever fought.
Okay. Well, that is where, as soon as you mentioned his name, I'm like, I gotta know where you place the guy.
Yeah.
One of the top, and Trevor.
Yeah.
I put both of them over Zolt. I think Zolt has more dexterity in his leg. But I'm not. I felt like I could step in on Zolt sometimes. I'm not stepping in on Harold, and I'm definitely not stepping in on Trevor. I'll try, and then I'm getting swallowed.
Harold could actually move backwards
and pump his leg backwards and still kick at you. But it wasn't a kick. It was a chamber to make sure he kept the space. And it always stayed in between you. There was no side kick where your heel moved offline and you had an opportunity. A round kick where your knee moved over. Everything was right here, universal chamber, like Trevor.
Yep.
And it's strong.
Yep.
So, yeah. Roman had a great leg. I fought Roman too. Roman had a great leg, more like Harold, a little less wasted motion. But I think because I was better when I fought Harold than when I fought Roman, a little younger, a little faster, a little bit more agile. And the way Harold kept me at bay with his leg versus how Roman did, fighting me, I thought Harold had a better leg.
Well, and there's a pretty significant reach difference in the two of them.
Yeah.
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 So there's a significant reach difference.
Jack and the Beanstalk had his beans, you know what I mean?
Harold's got long legs too, but like whoever, like when you're fighting somebody, and you might fight someone who's like 5'10", 5'11", but when you fight them with their reach, it feels like they're 6'2".
Yes.
But it's like, just throw whatever you know as far as distance and reach with kicks out the window when you're fighting Roman, because whatever you know, you don't know. Right?
No, because you think you're 8 feet away and you're okay, and then how did he hit me in the back of that? Which one of y'all kicked me?
Right, I know.
That's what happened with Roman, because he's long. But that was a bad fight.
I do wish I would have had an experience fighting Harold. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
Harold's dope. And then of course, go ahead.
No, go.
I was like, I got other experience. My first world championship was.
All right. Yes. Was that
EAXA, Ireland, 2000.
Yes. All right. I was going to say, because you went in 2000, I went in 2001 to WK. Was that the year did you? What year
they
was
merged
it
when
they merged?
05. 05, because it was in Basel, Switzerland.
Yes.
It was in Basel.
Yes. I remember you and I were talking about, okay, are you going to go this year, and everything? Because
I went because I didn't go to Russia with EAXA because they still did one in Russia. I went and did Basel, and then the next year I did Niagara Falls.
Yes, that's right. There's Niagara Falls. That was, I think, yeah. So,
there's no way I didn't win that world championship. I was so mad in my forms division. Like I have never been like, bro, there's no way I didn't win that. That was the one where I was like, nope. It was one of those ones where I almost took my medal off and put it in the ring and walked away. Like it was that one.
Wow.
Oh yeah. It was one of those ones where everybody, the dude who beat me from England came over and was like, nope. Good job.
That was
whatever.
It's like an experience. One year at Super Grands, there was a pool right behind where the stage was.
Stage was, yeah.
And there was about 4 or 5 second place belts in that pool by the end of the finals. People were performing in the pool.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I can believe that 100%.
Oh man.
Well,
all right.
That was my first.
That's a cool experience, right?
Oh, 100%. First time actually getting international experience and going overseas and experiencing that whole thing. The open, I did AAU and I did Junior Olympics and stuff. So we did the whole walking in and ceremonies back, goodness, in the 90s. But going and representing your country in another country, doing the walkouts, standing there with your flag and doing that whole opening ceremonies, only knowing there's only 2 kickboxing rings because we fought in EAXA, you fought in 10-ounce gloves with the white on the front like amateur, and you couldn't throw a ridge hand, you had to throw a hook because you had to hit with the white part of the glove.
Stop.
So you had to, for real. Every fight was stop time.
Yep.
I'll never forget. My first fight was 29 to 28. I lost by 1 point in my very first experience over there. The fight was 9.5 minutes long from start to stop because they did stop time every single point. And with that many points being scored, it was a long fight.
It's crazy.
That's how I met Roman's instructors, Ivan Kuliev and Gunter. They fought. Gunter fought my instructor for the championships. That's Roman's instructor, the big tall dude with the glasses.
Yeah,
Gunter. Yeah. And Ivan Kuliev is the little guy with the hair. Those dudes. Yeah. I met them there, cool, and that's where I met Dominic and Fortunato, guys from Robbie's, Robbie's, some of Robbie's influences.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
Dom and Forch were woo.
Crazy.
Woo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now let's fast forward.
Okay.
You're not in Florida anymore. You find your way to Georgia. You're not in Florida anymore. You find your way to Georgia.
Time? I moved out of Florida and moved to different places. I went to Pennsylvania. I went to California. I went to California again, and then I finished in Georgia.
Listen, we gotta have you back for round 2 for that.
Yeah, I know. Okay. We got so much.
Here's what I want to touch on. Okay, you find yourself, because if we went through the Chris Walker,
it's
podcast would be a week long, but this is one thing I want to touch on. So, you find yourself in Georgia. You're running a great martial arts school, but you're also running a school where it's just kind of the culture where your Sunday night workouts are the hub for where good fighters go. There's a buzz nationwide around the Sunday night training workouts at your school. Why do you think it's your school that's the hub? And how do you feel about that?
I'm honored, honestly. I do Sundays selfishly for me, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not gonna blow smoke for nobody. I do Sundays for me because it's what my instructor did, and I want rounds. I'm an instructor all day, every day, and I need time to do what I love to do. And with that, I've always invited everybody, no BS, no drama. Everybody's allowed. I try to help people. I try to, if people are training for a tournament and I'm not training for a tournament, I'm like, hey, do you want me to fight lefty or righty? Hey, do you want me to kick at you? Do you want me to punch at you? I try to guide and give as much as I can to everybody. And I think that's received well. And I think that's why people are open to come. I don't judge anybody. I don't be like, yo, that kick was trash. Why are you doing that? I'm like, oh man, that's pretty cool. Have you ever tried it like this? Oh, all right, cool. Awesome. Great job, man. And we just kind of keep it going. I invite people in. I try to have some of the guys when I know I'm going to have a show up, I try to get seminars together. We did the elite camp after battle. The very next week after Kevin's tournament, Bailey and Tobias were here. So we got them to spar. So 2 weeks in a row after battle, Ty and Devin and the who's who of everybody from out of town were here. And then the next week, Bailey and Tobias were here after Kevin's tournament. So I just provide a place for everybody to come. I don't charge a mat fee. I just let everybody come in and hang out. I know people are going to be like, bro, don't do that. You're worth, whatever. And I get it, but again, it's for me. I get the joy of training with the best fighters right now in Georgia. I get the honor to come by. A lot of people come from South Carolina, Tennessee, the transplants that aren't from Georgia but are here in Georgia. Florida people come up after tournaments. Everybody hangs out after NGO. It's huge rounds. So I think that's one of the things, and I absolutely love it. Ben, I remember fighting you in my super heavyweight fight. Oh man, I fought light middleweight day, and I fought 200 plus pounds at night. 2009, when they brought back the PKA heavyweight super fight, I fought Ben in the first round. That dude is a monster. He's still doing it.
He is. I watched some videos.
Down in Florida. I gotta try to get up. Ben, I gotta try to get with you when I get down to Florida. I'll be there till the 4th.
Okay, you already started doing it, but you started name dropping a bunch of guys.
Hey, we got 15 seconds.
Name drop who you've had in your school.
Bailey, Robbie, Jack, Ty, Katana, Justin Ortiz.
Wow.
Who else? Cody Deesburg's come. Regina, Willie, my instructor, Travis Plowden's 4 rounds in there. Jamond, Kevin Walker. Obviously, I'm just dropping all the Zach Winder.
Wow.
Zayn, Josh Horwich, Alex Reyes came, not you, Dingman. You are more than welcome anytime you come.
Gonna have to make it happen now.
I mean, just
that's crazy.
A ton of people. John Cortolo, that's my road dog too. Joe Fife has been up, hasn't been sparring. What?
Every time you get a new guy in, start it now. Get a picture. Just like, when you go to like the restaurants where they
dude, that'd be pretty. Actually, Alex Dingman,
that's a good idea.
That's 2 now. That's 2 for you. The Swiss Army knife and taking single pictures with
Isn't that a great move?
I'm gonna have to do that.
Do that, and then you get them, and it could be just a simple selfie, or it could just be like, hey, take this picture. All right.
Hey, this week I posted one on Instagram. I'm like, hey guys, I don't ever do this. I know y'all know me. I don't ever do this. Let's get a picture because all the people, we got a good group. Let's get a picture.
Right.
And so I actually posted this one. But yeah, I never do that. That's a pretty good. I probably should do that. I'm not very good.
I think it's cool.
Social media stuff.
Because when you do that, when the restaurant has that, or the hotel has that, or whoever does that,
people get excited. Like, ooh,
it's guilty by association in a positive way. Right?
Yeah.
Sly Stallone stayed here. You see Sylvester Stallone was here. Man, this place is about it. But then it's not just that, it's them with you.
Right.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I got my man Ernest Miller. Don't forget about the cat.
You got Ernest Miller, yeah.
Hey, Uncle E.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So we went over anyway. So we're bound to. It's okay. It's going to happen.
It's an inside scoop thing.
I know. So Chris, man, this has been fun. We got to get you back. Again, since we're over, go ahead and share. I know you did 200 episodes on CTE, but in one spot right now, share 5 of your favorites, 5 of your favorite competitors. I know it's hard.
Wow. 5 competitors, like people I fought?
Yeah. No,
if you want to say you fought or the ones you looked up to,
whoever. Casey Marks. End of discussion. Casey Marks, Terry Kramer, Tony Young, Raymond,
the last 2.
Raymond, and I'm gonna pick a kid who I don't think gets enough love right now because he don't get the nod never. But I seen Mom on earlier. Ben Jones.
Yeah,
I've been talking about this kid for like 6 years. I've judged him at like 14, 15 at a local tournament, and that he's my favorite right now as a Forms of Weapons competitor. I like that kid. I think he's my favorite right now. So I got to throw him in the legends.
When I saw him at Infinity National Championships this year, I'm not joking. He was the best martial artist in the building. Forms, weapons, anything. He was the best in the entire building.
I thought on stage at the battle, Forms, he's so strong and clean. He reminds me of a Marcel, not in stylistic standings, but how sharp, how strong he is, how clean he is. I really equate that a little bit to that right there. I think he's dope. And then his bow, forget it. Forget it, bro. Yeah. Just forget it. That kid's amazing.
I love it. That's a good one.
That's it, man. I appreciate y'all. Man, thank you guys. This has been fun. I would have never done this. Jeff, I would have never done this if you didn't ask me. I'd have never done the talk about this. And then Alex bringing up stuff that Alex, the standing full thing is crazy to me.
Yeah. You really did. Did you really not have any idea that took place? Like once it happened, it was just gone. You didn't remember that at all?
No, I did them in my forms. I did the chop spear, chop punch, high block punch, spin, double wee, and I would wee before I did it, and I would full. I would make a noise because I I went against Mark. I went against Tirana. I went against these
Right.
When I was a kid, I would compete against Jeff and Butch Marks. So like, I was always not like, I never felt like I was gonna be that guy in forms. So I always did something different. I did the fighters blitz. I would do my flash kick, or I would do a full to the corner. I would go fighters, and I would throw a double pump kick and a blitz in my extreme form. I would do I'd wear the short traditional pants and the purple top. I would do the backflips from the floor. I always did something that I threw elbow and uppercut combos back in 2001. So I always tried to be different because I didn't think I was going to beat David Doug. I didn't think I was going to beat those dudes. I really did. Anthony Atkins when I first started. No way. But if I do something different, people will remember me. And I want to be remembered. If I can't win, I want to be remembered. So I'm going to do my best to win, but I'm always going to do something that sets me apart. I think that was the biggest thing in our era. I was talking about this with Kalman and Marcel at the battle. The thing about our era was we wanted to show that we could do what you could do, but I bet you can't do this. I'm not a carbon copy or a cookie cutter, and everything looks kind of the same. We had everybody looked more like Salif. Everybody had something different. Steve did the tornado to roll to pop full, back down, breakdance, pop kicks. Anthony Atkins just was Anthony freaking Atkins. And then we had, everybody was so different.
Everybody had their own
style, their own
game. We'll do the flares.
Nick, listen, whoa! Florida legend right there. Nick Begley.
That's a great point.
One of the dopest dudes ever with the sword. Still one of my favorites. We're gonna go too long.
I love it.
This is for round 2.
Thanks, Katie. Katie was a triple threat in Florida.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
Killing it with them size.
Oh man.
Still doing size.
Yes, she is. I love it. All right.
Not a partial artist, a full martial artist. That's been the saying, and that's what's been preached.
This weekend.
Yes, we will see you this weekend, US Open.
Yes.
Chris is
coming, Alex.
At the no.
I'll be there, but
listen.
Perfect.
I'm going to tell you this. All right, I've said it enough. If I was actively competing right now, I still probably wouldn't be at the U.S. Open. If I was at 12 tournaments this year, the U.S. Open would be hard pressed for the U.S. Open to be one of them. That's another day, another time.
We know we're here.
Yeah, I can be hijacked to do some other things. All right.
Oh man. All right.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. See you, Chris. Thank you, brother.
Take it easy, guys. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yes, sir.